Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to tell you about a great celebration that takes place annually in New Orleans that has become an American institution with a Latin flavor. The world has become familiar with it as the Mardi Gras. The Mardi Gras is sometimes referred to also as the Carnival, but actually there is a difference. The Carnival is the entire season of social activities, which includes parades all over the city of New Orleans and famous costume balls. And the costume balls usually take place in the Municipal Auditorium, which incidentally was the scene of our concert in New Orleans. The Mardi Gras is not a religious holiday, although it does fall on the day just before the beginning of Lent. And this day is always a Tuesday. And this date is selected by Pope Gregory's calendar. And it sometimes is known as Fat Tuesday because it's the feast before the fast, when everyone has a wonderful time and dons costumes, and they can be anything they ever wanted to be and do almost anything they ever wanted to do. And the celebration is climaxed with a fabulous parade. And the decorations that are used in this parade are planned almost a year in advance by an official decorator who is selected by a secret organization. And then at night, the famous costume ball takes place. And it's sort of a mock revival of court etiquette with a king and queen and dukes and their maids and noblemen. And the spectators represent the subjects of the kingdom. And the only way you can attend this costume ball is by invitation only. But we were told there are always a lot of gate crashers. Well, this wonderful celebration, which we would like to describe musically for you now, takes place in our little arrangement, which we'd like to dedicate to all those fun-loving and wonderful people in New Orleans. The number's called Come to the Mardi Gras. Ladies and gentlemen, that there's always was a gay time in New Orleans. Well, it's true, you can have a wonderful, wonderful time down there, but I do notice that the people down there have their moments of solitude and prayer. It was particularly evidenced during our concert when we played some religious music. They were so attentive and appreciative of this music that I would like to play it again and dedicate it to them. I was particularly inspired when I visited their famous San Luis Cathedral, which stands today after being built in 1794. It faces Jackson Square and was the scene of the transfer of the Louisiana Purchase to the United States. And in this beautiful cathedral, the sound of the choir and the music was the Ave Maria.